വികസന നയങ്ങളിൽ അടിമുടി മാറ്റം വരുന്നുണ്ടോ? പാർട്ടിയിൽ സ്ത്രീകൾക്ക് അർഹിച്ച പ്രാതിനിധ്യം ഉറപ്പാക്കപ്പെടുന്നുണ്ടോ? പാർട്ടി മുഖമെനുക്കുമോ, മുഖം മാറുമോ? പല ചോദ്യങ്ങൾ ഉയരുന്നുണ്ട് CPM സംസ്ഥാന സമ്മേളന കാലത്ത്. CPM പോളിറ്റ് ബ്യൂറോ അംഗം ശ്രീമതി ബൃന്ദ കാരാട്ട് തന്നെ ഇന്ന് Q18 നമുക്ക് ഒപ്പം ചേരുകയാണ്. നമസ്കാരം മാം. CPM സ്റ്റേറ്റ് കോൺഫറൻസ് ഇൻ കൊല്ലം seen as a crucial and an important moment for party, especially elections are on the horizon. How do you assess that?
For the CPM, every party conference is as significant and as important. So I won't say that there's any very special significance for the conference this time. Every conference is important. But certainly today, given the political context in which we are living and in which the country is living, with a government at the center which does not believe in the Constitution of India, certainly it is of great significance. So it is from that perspective and that context that the party conferences that we are holding across India, leading up to the National Party Conference, what we call the Party Congress, which is scheduled to be held in Madurai in the first week of April, that is certainly significant because of the political context that we are living in today and the challenges there are before the left. As far as Kerala, of course, the elections are a year away, and you're certainly right, there are many challenges before us. And tomorrow, the Chief Minister and the conference is going to put forward a vision document for how we see Kerala over the next 5 years. So, yes, in that sense, you're right.
Yeah, there is, like what you said, there is a strategic shift going on, say so. The new Kerala vision document and the leadership change discussion. How far you see it?
I have no idea about that. You may have got some special information from your sources. Leadership here is very stable and a very able leadership. And State Secretary here has actually only done one term. So I'm not sure exactly what change of leadership you're talking about. I can't comment on that because I think it may be the imagination of the media.
Regarding the new Kerala vision document, that
Yes.
is what we
So
were talking
actually,
about.
yes. So the new Kerala vision document, the Nava Kerala has been going on, as you know, for the last 5 years, and quite a lot of our goals for the last 5 years have been achieved. But we have to take it to the next level. And the kind of opportunities now which have been created in Kerala by the last 5 years of the Pinarayi Vijayan government, I think it's been very critical. And to how to take that forward, what are the areas in which Kerala has the expertise to take the whole state forward? That, for example, technology. You have a very skilled workforce here, a very educated workforce here. And then you have, of course, so many other opportunities which the government is trying to bring in, apart from infrastructure development. So I think those are some of the areas which I think the discussion is going to start tomorrow. Once that is done, I think we'll have a better idea.
Regarding the development policy of CPM, the policy of government itself, has party made a drastic change? Do you think so?
No, I'm not, again, I'm not sure what you're referring to. As far as I can see, there is no change. The change is that we want to take Kerala forward. And what are the specific contexts in which we can take Kerala forward?
The opposition of Kerala, especially the Congress party of Kerala, is alleging that left is turning to be the extreme right wing nowadays, especially in this development policy, and they, not considering the common people. That's an allegation. Please comment on that.
How can I comment on something so absolutely ridiculous and absurd that even the Congress party, surely they would be more educated to understand that even the parameters given by the central government, which measures the development of each state, on all the major social indicators which reflect the position of the common people of Kerala, Kerala is number one. It's accepted all over the country, and it's most unfortunate that the Congress party here in Kerala cannot see development when it's happening under their noses. So I really can't respond to something which is so absolutely absurd.
They are telling Congress has given all its support to the global investment meet which happened recently. But they are criticizing that if CPM has changed its notion before, the state would have changed much earlier.
Again, I say, the Congress should understand that the CPM government has been in Kerala at a time when Kerala has faced the most serious natural calamities. The way the Kerala government dealt with the COVID fallout, the way the Kerala government dealt with the floods, the way the Kerala government has dealt with so many of these issues and yet kept Kerala on track and kept Kerala on both aspects, one, development, and secondly, social indicators. And I think facts speak for themselves. At a time when privatization is raging across the country, it is only in Kerala that we've turned the public sector, the state public sector, around. Now, that is a wonderful achievement. While in the rest of the country, you are finding minimum wages being decreased. Here in Kerala, there has been an increase. At a time when governments across India, including Congress governments, have increased the work hour from 8 hours to 12 hours, including in Karnataka, including in many other states where the BJP first started it and the Congress followed suit. Rajasthan, for example, the first state. So the CPIM maintaining that development has to start with a pro-people core in defending the laws which have been created through the struggles of the workers, the peasants. On that basis, we are taking Kerala forward. So it's not the CPIM which has changed its position at all on fundamental issues. It is a Congress, unfortunately, which has not changed its policies. The Congress, wherever it is ruling, is still following the quote-unquote neoliberal framework, which is such a discredited framework. So I think the boot is on the other foot.
Let me clarify the word I said, drastic change on some policies. It's regarding the private universities. Once CPM used to oppose the private universities, now the government itself welcoming it as a bench or as a whole. Isn't it a change?
No, in fact, if you look at the private university policy, you will find even within the private university policy, the kind of regulations that we have in the act which has been adopted in Kerala is quite unique for the whole country. It is here in Kerala where you are ensuring reservations. Nowhere throughout India, including in all the Congress-run states where they have gone whole hog in privatization of education, here in Kerala, we are supporting the government sector, and what we are trying to do is to ensure that the regulations which apply to the government sector equally apply to the private sector. I think that's unique. It's a wonderful thing, and let us see how we can implement it. There's reservation, there's the question of, for poorer sections of students, there's a question of how you promote education for those sections. I think it's wonderful.
That means the party back up the government decision regarding the private universities.
I would say the particular way in which the private universities have come in Kerala, the context in which it has come, the linkages between what the Kerala students are facing today. They're going all over India into the worst, most rapacious private universities. So here you are giving them the opportunity. This is a demand of the Kerala students because they're spending so much money going outside. So here you are trying to find a way out. It's not the way the private universities are running. Say, for example, in Maharashtra or Delhi, where education has become a commodity. Here you are trying to give some relief to Kerala students who are going outside and spending so much money by bringing in these universities and trying to have a kind of a regulatory mechanism. So I would say that it's a road that, in a Kerala context, the government found necessary. But certainly, if you look at private universities across India, there's no way we can support that because they're rapacious.
Here the context is different.
I mean the way that they're exploiting students and the way the government is giving concessions after concessions to them, and they are not keeping those conditions which have been imposed. So that kind of privatization of universities, the party has been very strong, and we are today too. So I don't think there's any change in the policy about our approach towards the privatization of education. Education cannot become a commodity for profit, and we're very clear about that. So I don't think there's any change as far as that is concerned.
Yeah, I got it. It will be very great if you can comment on Asha health workers strike, which is still going on. Does CPM show an intolerance to such struggles or such public strike, which like party itself denying its history? Don't you think
No,
so?
I don't think the party is denying its history at all. In fact, we are organizing Asha workers throughout India. Many of the unions of the Asha workers are affiliated to the CITU. And there's undoubtedly the Asha workers across India, Kerala and across India, the nature of this scheme is such that it is a totally exploitative scheme. There's absolutely no denying it. The Asha workers must be regularized. Asha workers must be getting pension. Asha workers should get proper wages as other government employees do. In the nature of the scheme, my question to my sisters who are out on strike for the last 25 days, in my experience of struggle, which is a continuing experience, I always feel that one should identify the main force responsible for my plight. Now, if I misidentify the main force responsible for my plight, am I taking my struggle forward or not? That is the question. According to my understanding, and I think according to the understanding of any Asha women workers, they know very well that the nature of the scheme, it is a central government which is primarily responsible for the plight of Asha workers today. In Kerala, in Karnataka, in Telangana, everywhere. I have looked at figures which were given to me by our unions and a study of Asha workers. And the burden on Asha workers, the kind of work they have to do, and a part of their emolument is based on incentive schemes. And in those incentive schemes, depending on how many women you're taking to the hospital, depending on how many, so it's a horrible system where you are incentivized. And in that incentivization, central government is paying 60% and the state government pays 40%. As far as the honorarium is concerned, the state government is paying the entire honorarium. And if you look at the whole country, the fact is that today the Kerala government is paying the highest honorarium throughout India at a time when it is being denied and being punished for helping workers. The central government is denying the Kerala government the funds which are due to it. The central government is strangulating Kerala financially. Now, if I'm in struggle, and I should be, I mean, the right to struggle, but when you struggle, surely you have to identify who your main opposition force is. And the opposition to Ashas is in the nature of the scheme. If you just look at the guidelines, it says a state government can do, etc., but except for the fundamental issue that they are voluntary workers, social workers. Like, this is ridiculous. It means you don't give a wage, you give an honorarium. So these are basic issues. And tomorrow's Women's Day, it's International Women's Day. And I really do believe, and I really do wish that you know, when you're in struggle and the struggle is legitimate, unless you focus on who is responsible for your plight, you have to do that, in my opinion. And therefore, I feel that it's unfortunate. As far as the CPM is concerned, all over India and also in Kerala, there is nothing at all as far as, I think the word you used was going against our own history. I don't think so at all. The only part of our history also, which is why we've won so many struggles, is we are always able to identify who the main force is, who is opposing me. And I think in this case, it is the central government.
The clear misidentification of who is not responsible. Still, it is 25th day and it's still going on. So the
No,
party...
I think one,
Yeah.
yes, sorry.
So the party thinks there is a hidden agenda behind whoever initiating the strike.
Quite frankly, I am not into all that. I don't talk about hidden or open or agenda or whatever. That is not at all my concern. I am concerned that for 25 days, women are out on strike, you know, in struggle. And unfortunately, they are unable to see that the main force behind this plight of Asha workers. I have worked with Asha workers for years. The whole scheme was started during the UPA government. And we fought the UPA government at that time. We said, what the scheme that you're trying to bring is going to be like the Anganwadi also. You're going to exploit women and you're not going to give them a wage. Why can't you give them a wage? Right then at the time of the UPA, when it was part of the Rural Health Mission, we were there in the UPA parliament at that, I mean not UPA parliament, in parliament at that time, and the UPA government was there. So I remember those discussions. And I remember the experts and the doctors and the kind of discussions we had. So unfortunately, what we apprehended has come true. But anyway, as far as the government of Kerala is concerned, there were arrears, which is very unfortunate. And definitely, it is a government duty to clear those arrears. I mean, there's absolutely no question about that.
Do you think the traditional women voters of CPM have left the party?
I think you're determined to get some questions to
But
me,
after
of which you know
Yeah.
exactly
Yeah, but after
the way. I mean,
Yeah.
this discussion actually, as far as I'm concerned,
at
it's
least,
not really
especially
going
after
anywhere.
Shabarimala movement,
It's
is
not
there
really
any...
going anywhere, this discussion, because you're asking me questions which you know I'm going to, what my answer is going to be. No, the women of Kerala are very much with the LDF. And if there are any gaps which have developed, which you can see, certainly we will study those gaps and do whatever is required. Because I think the Kerala government and the Kerala party are so clearly committed to women, and there's absolutely no denying that.
It is a heavy troll on social media that CPM is not having a single district secretary. Actually, the women representation is actually
No,
it's not
actually,
that strong.
it's true that we don't have a district secretary. I mean, personally for me, that's it. But this is the only party which we have a constitutional amendment now, in the last party congress in Kannur, in fact, in which we said that state committees at all levels have to increase the representation of women during the committee elections. And I'm very happy to say that not just in Kerala, but all over India now, the representation of women in committees has increased. And there is a conscious plan now in all over India to increase the representation of women. And yes, you're right, we don't have a district secretary. And I think that's unfortunate, no doubt about it.
We all are looking...
I would like, in fact, well, all over India, I would like to see districts with so many more women secretaries, because I think women are doing a wonderful job. And I always feel happy coming here to Kerala, because unlike you, when I come to Kerala, I see these strong women who are so committed and who are so secular and who are so pro-people and pro-poor. And it's not as though they're getting anything out of it for themselves, but it's that ideological commitment. So I come to Kerala to get energized by Kerala women and the culture of Kerala, which is so unique. For me, Kerala is a beacon of light in the rest of India where women are being hounded and their autonomy being snatched away by a Manuvadi approach to women's issues,
But
led by the
still, we
BJP
never had a
RSS
women chief
government.
minister yet in Kerala.
Well,
when we will have.
unfortunately, yeah, well, but you have chief ministers who may not be women, but who have been very, very pro-women. And I think that itself says a great deal for the women of Kerala. So, yeah, you haven't had a woman chief minister, but you've had a number of male chief ministers who have been extremely pro-women. So, in this sense, I don't think biological essentialism works because you have a government which is very pro-woman.
A Muslim League leader told us in the interview, interview, that Brinda Karat is in CPM Politburo only because she is the wife of Prakash Karat.
Well, good luck to somebody who says that. And happy International Women's Day to the Muslim League leader. That's all I can say.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks a lot.